Good afternoon, good early evening should I say. Welcome back to East Midlands Airport, welcome back to live flight action. The Aerologic 777 landing in from Cincinnati, just in front of us there, and the Lauda making its way in on final for runway 27. We'll catch up in just a little minute. Make sure everything is properly tied down this afternoon. Making its way to Standard, and the Lauda A320 making its way in from Palma this afternoon. DHL in front of us, registration Delta Alpha Alpha Lima Juliet. Flight time 7 hours and 6 minutes. Yeah, and the Lauda making its way in, registration on that one 9 Hotel Lima Mike Bravo. That one an A320-200. That one with a flight time of 2 hours and 8 minutes. We'll get back onto the Aerologic though just for a couple of minutes. So the wind is intense up here on the mound this evening. So hoping the sound is coming over well. If not, just let me know and we can adjust accordingly. Ash, good evening to you, Becky and Emma as well. Thank you very much for joining us. The Aerologic making its way to stand. The wind calms down just a little bit. Let's have a look then on 27 as the Lauda makes its way towards us now. Prime 737, that one is operated by ASL. Try and get a close-up one of that if we can in just a little bit. With the Lauda there in front of us, landing on runway 27 this afternoon. So it's extremely windy at the minute, so apologies for any shaking on the camera. I'll do our best to mitigate any of that. Much better conditions than it was on Tuesday evening in terms of the rain anyway. Seems to have subsided just for the time being. You can see in front of us, the sky isn't too bad, nice and blue in the distance, with a cloud above us. It's pretty much the same all the way around us this evening. Let's follow the Lauda down onto stand then if we can. See just about where this one ends up this evening. Try and lock it off there if we can. It's definitely going to be an interesting evening with the wind. It's in about 16 knots at the minute. Sorry, 19 knots at the minute. Looks like we're going to have 27 operations just for a little while in terms of streaming anyway. Looks like the wind is pretty much in this direction for the next couple of weeks. Maybe the Lauda making its way onto stand this evening then. Try and adjust that. Hopefully that's nice and focused now. don't see much empty at the minute over there. There are a few aircraft making their way towards us, but we'll look at the arrivals and departures in just a minute. For the time being, we shall stick with the Lauda. So that one is pulled straight onto stand there. A view of the Aeropark as well on stand this evening. Let's look at those arrivals and departures, and the Lauda just making its way in from Palma. Should be 152 making its way across. Front is in just a few minutes. Very tricky conditions for that one this afternoon. Very strong crosswind going down through passes. So on the arrivals. So the Ryanair service in from Rome, that one should have been with us in the next 5 minutes or so. That one is delayed until about 6:45 this evening. So is the DHL service in from Kennedy. That one about 7:30. The aviation service in from the Isle of Man. That one is due in at 7 p.m. The Ryanair service from Limoges at 7:05. The Maersk making its way over from Cologne. That one should be with us about 7:20 this evening. And the Aeropark in from Leipzig. That's the 777 just before 8:10. It's the UPS service in from Philadelphia. That one is delayed again, unfortunately, this evening. That one delayed by about 20 minutes or so. Should be with us about 8:25. It's DHL service in from Reykjavik. That one is scheduled to arrive at about 8:20, so just before the UPS in from Philadelphia. North Atlantic service in from Aberdeen at 8:30, and Belfast service. That one is the Maersk 767 in from Belfast about 8:50 this evening. We'll see whereabouts we are in terms of aircraft arrival and weather conditions. Hopefully it subsides just a little bit. Let's have a look at the wind conditions at the minute. It's on its way down, gusting at about 34 miles an hour at the minute. Dropping by about 10 miles or so, about 10 miles an hour or so throughout the duration of the stream, so it's definitely going to be a windy one this evening. At least the rain has kept off us for the time being. It's just the tripod back a tiny bit. Back on the straight and level. Let's have a look at departures then. We do have the Atlanta Icelandic 747 right in the distance, so we just take our eyes off the Lauda. That one just getting ready to disembark there. The stair just at the rear of the aircraft. As the camera will go around a bit of force, you can just see it in the distance there. That one was scheduled to depart at 5 p.m. That one should be departing at 6:10 this evening. So in about 20 minutes, 747 in the distance there should be making its way out. The Ryanair service to Venice, that one with an estimated time of 7:05. Nothing moving just yet over there, but the Lauda, if we spin back round to that one then, there we go, that one is due back out to Palma at about 6 p.m. this evening, so again in the next 20 to 25 minutes. Ryanair service to Berlin, that one was due out at 6, that one is now due to depart at 7:20, and the TUI service to Heraklion at 7:20. DHL 777 off to Leipzig, That one is at 5 to 7 this evening, and the Ryanair service to Barcelona at 7:30. The Maersk service over to Cologne at 8:15. DHL service off to Leipzig, that one operated by 767. We probably just missed that one with an estimated departure time of 9:25 this evening. Looking on the map though, so look, see what aircraft are making their way towards us. The DHL 757 in from Budapest this evening. That one is just north of London at the minute. It's making its way over towards Luton. That is currently at 24,900 feet, so making its way down from there. Registration Golf Bravo Mike Romeo Delta. That one should be with us in about 20 to 25 minutes. Just looking a little further south over France, they're making its way up towards Paris at the minute. The Ryanair service in from Rome, that one with us still an hour and 10 minutes to run this evening. So it's looking like DHL 757 will be the next aircraft inbound to us. Of course, keep an eye on all of the outbounds as well. So let's just have a quick spin across to the right, see if we can see anything else on the apron this evening. The Ryanair service, sorry, Ryanair aircraft, that was service presumably operating out to Berlin this evening. Look on the map. It's an uniform hotel. Uniform, it may be. Yes, that one is. Oh, sorry, operating out to Venice this evening. Berlin service delayed just a little while, so the Ryanair aircraft in front of us should be off to Venice anytime soon, hopefully. Just on the stand next to it. Chilly over there. The sun's still shining through very strong this evening. Try my best to persevere with the settings as best we can. So look right in this and send the Prime Air. I think this one is operated by ASL on behalf of Amazon. Not a regular sight into East Midlands, and not one we've seen for quite some time. Last year was probably the last time we saw this one operating into East Midlands. Let's see if we can dumb that down just a little bit there, take a bit of that reflection off. There we go, hopefully that's coming across a little better, with better clarity. Alan, good evening to you. Thank you very much for joining us. So a quick look back on the louder. Font with the camera this evening. There you go, that one in the process of we're just about to start disembarking. Looks like a few delays then this evening on those inbounds and outbounds. Weather probably being quite a contributing factor. But that's 757 making its way towards Milton Keynes now. This one 37 years of age. In from Budapest this evening, we've been seeing a couple of 757s, the normal Reykjavik service and this service in from Oslo as well. But Budapest for a change on a Thursday evening. A route we've seen a 757 flying to us on before. too long at all until we see that one with us. Helps team just making their way off the runway. Hopefully the weather doesn't turn too bad to see. The temperature looks quite stable. It's to about 18, 17 degrees by the time we finish streaming this evening. You can see just how windy it is this afternoon. Obviously the camera's moving quite. But thank you very much for joining us on a very blustery evening. So this weather isn't too bad, apart from the wind. Nice and dry, which makes a change from Tuesday. And it was abysmal up here on the mount. So the wind completely did beat us with the driving rain as well. It's just not worth the risk of anything getting damaged. Quickly made a hasty exit, packed up, made a hasty exit, rescheduled for this evening instead. So it sounds like something maybe on the move in the distance. Just listen to air traffic control. It's the 747 Atlanta Icelandic. Starting up here in the distance. Registration on that one, 9 Hotel Alpha Kilo Kilo. This one 29 years of age, delivered in June 1995. This one off to Riyadh this afternoon. I think this one did make its way in from, yes, Riyadh. This afternoon it landed in. Landing just before 20 to 3 this afternoon into East Midlands. Flight time on that one is 6 hours and 46 minutes. Back off to Riyadh this evening. There we go. Switch around and get a view of the airport fire truck as it passes by us this evening. There we go. Bit of a rare sight on the perimeter. Making his way past. Giving us a wave this evening. Something a little bit different. So I'll back on the louder then. See if they make their way down back on the runway in just a few minutes. Get set up. There we go. Get locked off the short to that position ever so slightly. There we go. Get that mid-frame. Not too often we get to see the fire trucks out around the perimeter. So I know the crew over there have been watching us these past few months. Good to see them out. Managed to catch them a few times as well. In and around the airfield. Thank you for giving us a wave on your way past. .747 in the distance then, pushing back now. Let's see if we can, we'll take off the apron camera there for the time being. There you go. We'll spin this one around. Hopefully get leveled off from the wind. Maybe a little bit tricky to pick that one up through the fence. A secondary camera, so I'm going to try and watch that one make its way down towards us. So I think we'll have a little bit of a switch. switch you onto the dual camera there and bring you on to the 747 in just a minute once we spin around. There you go, switch back over now. 747 in the distance there. Just pan a little further up. There you go, majority of the fence out of the way for the time being. But we should hopefully be able to see that one start to make its way down towards us on the taxiway anyway. With runway 27 being in operation, this one will make its way directly overhead us this evening. So that one sounds like it is starting up in the distance. Should be quite a noise indeed as it passes over the top of us. Let's just get these guys as they come past us again on a taxiway, making our way back down to the station this evening. Just a minute. There we go. Thank you very much for giving us a wave this evening. Let's get back on the 747 for the time being then. Wind picking up to 21 knots now. Apparently seems to have died down just a little bit. Just bring the Aeropark 777 back on screen just for the time being then. So that one should be starting to offload in the next little while. A number of aircraft on the stand there this evening. The one at 747 straight in front of us. Populated with 767s, the 757 stuck right in the middle there, and the 777s as well this evening. Closer to that one. It is just buffeting us ever so slightly. Let's get back around if we can. There we go. Hopefully bring you the forward door. A better view on that one. The The 747 still very much sat down there on the apron. No word from them. Right, air traffic at a minute. Just about to see those flight surfaces in action there. Yeah, we should be on the way out in the next couple of minutes. And hopefully we can do a little bit of justice as that one departs straight out overhead of us this evening. Depending if it is carrying anything or what it is carrying, it may rotate a little bit early. As they said. The 757 that departed out a little earlier did in fact rotate quite far down the runway. That one departing just as we were setting up for the stream this evening. The 747 just requesting to start their taxi then. That one should be making its way out to the start of 27 imminently. So the Ryanair is requesting to push back and start as well. They've got the 747 making its way out down towards the start of 27 then. Service pushing back. So we'll try and keep this one in as much frame as we can. Ended just a little by the trees fence line there. That should be quite a sight as it makes its way towards us just a few minutes time. The Ryanair off to Venice, starting up in the distance, and now just pushing back off stand. So once we lose the last of the 747 there, there we go, we shall spin around. As the Ryanair starts to make its way off stand, and we shall keep a very good eye out for the 747. Like that one will be giving way to the DHL 757 in from Budapest this evening. Now that one at 2,200 feet now. Ryanair 737 here in front of us. Registration on that one, 9 Hotel Victor uniform. This one coming up to 4 years of age now next month. 737 MAX. This one operated by Malta Air. Right, let's try and tie this off if we can. A little bit more power before the 757 arrives with us. The 747 is at the start of 27 now, just holding for that 757 to make its way in. A little bit more light in there for you. There we go. Alan, not sure on the answer of. So it's last in a couple of months ago. Really depends on what it is scheduled to carry in and out. So no word on that one yet. They tend to keep their schedules quite close to their chest as well, I think. But if there is any noise about that one, definitely try and make our way down here. Catch that one in again. So if you did miss that one on last week's stream, last Thursday's stream, the Antonov arriving in with us to East Midlands making its way down across the south of the airfield, banking over Burton-on-Trent and making its way down on 09. Definitely go have a look back at that stream, and there's a separate video to that one as well. But the timestamps are in both the stream description and the video description. Beside it being given clearance to line up and wait after the arriving 757 then. So we should see that one departing in just a few minutes time. Whilst we do, I think I'll just change a couple of bits. There we go, we can go on there. Give yourself a little bit more space. Right, we'll give that a try. Pan around then on to runway 27 now. Here's the arrival of the DHL 757 in from Budapest. Definitely making its way down towards us. So the radar can be a little bit behind. Has definitely touched down. There we go, making its way towards us now. And the 747 indeed lining up on runway 27 now. This one vacating early, giving way to the 747 as quickly as it can. – 747 cleared for takeoff now then, so we shall park the 757 just for the time being. The 747 as it makes its way out of East Midlands this evening. This one off to Riyadh, registration again on this one, 9 Hotel Alpha Kilo 747 400 freighter. This one 29 years of age. And I got that one on the roll now. Go that one off to Riyadh this evening. Very smooth takeoff from the 747 there. Stick with this one just for the time being. That one banks to the left now, making its way back down south. This one in 2,700 feet now. I think we may lose this one to the wind. We'll try and stay with it as much as we can. So if you want to see any of the 747s depart out of East Midlands, definitely go back and have a look through the streams. We're very fortunate to catch a lot of the airframes in on runway 09 and 27. All sorts of different weather conditions, different operators as well. There we go. Trying our best to hope position on that one. So lock off there and watch that one as it departs down towards the south now. Into the cloud there. Disappearing off behind the cloud. 747 out of East Midlands this evening. Thank you very much for joining us on Live Flight Action. First stream of the week from East Midlands. Postponing Tuesday stream due to the weather. And we're back out again. Good job, we to catch the departure of that one. They're on a service out to Venice then. This one making its way to the start of runway 27 now. That one receiving takeoff clearance from the tower. That one should be passing by us in just a couple of minutes. And then we'll get a close-up shot of the 757 as it shuts down on the stand. And good evening to everybody in the chat as well. Thank you very much for joining us. Dino, good evening to you. Richard as well. Thank you very much for joining us. Yeah, very windy indeed at the minute, but no rain, so hopefully it stays that way. So it doesn't look too bad in the distance. The sun making its way through the cloud. Not too much grey cloud here in front of us. Passing behind us for the time being. Fingers crossed it stays that way over the next couple of hours. Let's have a look in the line of 27 then, as that Ryanair service to Venice makes its way down towards us now. Go then, we'll stick with this one just for a minute. So that one disappears off into the cloud as well. Still very bright in the distance. Let's try and dumb that down just a little. There we go. One passing through 2,500 feet now. It's definitely making it a little difficult to stay stable this evening. The Ryanair service off to Venice there. That one delayed a little this evening. That one due out about 5:05. Delayed just by about an hour or so. So we'll look then at the 757 on stand in the distance. That one making its way in from Budapest this evening. But at least it's not too cold for the time being, so the temperature should stay around 16 to 18 degrees. During the stream. Much colder temperatures. For the time being, it's quite pleasant, although a little bit windy. The Vulcan is operating just south of Worksop at the minute. That one has been out in operation for about 2 hours, just over 2 hours and 5 minutes now, approaching 2 hours and 10 minutes. So look on the departures. The Lauda service back off to Palma this evening is due out round about now. So let's leave the 757 just for a minute, and we shall pan around in the direction of the Lauda. We just have to briefly set up again. There we go, we shall lock that off there. Looks like the last of the bags are being loaded up. That rear cargo compartment just being closed. Let's try and take that up just a little bit there. There we go. That one should be making its way out in the next few minutes then. Let's see the air traffic in area. Wow, what a stormy evening this evening. It's a good job it's not sunny, because the umbrella would not stand a chance in this wind. Dino, thank you very much for stopping by. We shall see you on the next stream. Waiting for the Lauda to request pushback then. Let's bring 757 in from Budapest. Ground crew just making their way on board there. So those inbound services as well. The Ryanair service in from Rome is making its way towards the Strait of Dover at the minute. That one should be passing just south of Lutorque, making its way over, heading over London, and then making its way up towards East Midlands. That one should be with us in about 35 minutes. The Aeropark 777 making its way in from Leipzig. That one currently at 38,000 feet. Registration on that one this evening, Delta Alpha Alpha Lima Foxtrot. That one with about an hour and 15 minutes to run. That one just over Germany at the minute. Not too long, and that one should be leaving the coast, making its way towards us probably in the next 30 minutes or so. Let's look a little further west then. That delayed service in from Kennedy this evening. DHL 767 Golf Delta Hotel Lima Oscar. That one with about an hour and 12 minutes left to run. That one is currently at 37,000 feet. That one just turning, making its way towards the coast of Ireland now. Looks like that one is going to make its way towards Kerry, heading up towards Dublin and then across North Wales down towards East Midlands. The Lauda is just about to start up then. That one should be making its way out. There we go, just starting pushback. just a couple of things. Make it a bit easier. Allowed it back off to Palmer this evening, and registration on this one, and 9 Hotel Lima Mike Bravo, A320-200 series. A little more brightness in there. See all heat from the APU there being dispersed by the wind. See how strong it is in the distance. The tow being moved out of place now. That one will be making its way down towards the start of 27 in just a few minutes. Let you know once that one has been cleared to start its taxi. Tim, hello to you. Ground crew just making those final preparations underneath the louder then. Feels like the wind has subsided just a little now. It was due to or forecasted to start reducing its speed anyway over the next couple of hours. Just seems to be gusting out the minutes. And the louder being given taxi clearance there, that one making its way down to the start of runway 27 then. Hopefully get a nice view of that one as it passes by the Primair 737 in the distance. We'll take that 757 off the main screen just for the time being and stick with a louder as it makes its way out. Stay with this one as it makes its way down to the start of runway 27 then. The Swift ATR is in the distance as well. Some park very active this evening. Maybe just be able to pick that up. So look back on the DHL ramp just for the time being as that louder makes its way down to the start of 27 this evening. And DHL 777 currently being worked on that. Zoom in on it a little bit, try and take a bit of that shake off the camera. in front of us, he's due out to Leipzig this evening at about 5 to 7. We'll see if that indeed keeps on schedule. I've been fortunate with the 777s or 767s of late, so most of those services have been delayed somewhat. Hopefully we will see this one out in front of us this evening, though. We shall find out in the next 40 minutes or so whether that one is indeed on schedule. Making a pretty rapid progress of getting that one loaded up. So hopefully we will indeed see that one out on time this evening. The Lauda intercepting 27 a little further up. That one being given clearance to take off now. So we shall leave 777 just for the time being. Pan around as the Lauda makes its way down towards us now. A little bit more light in there for you as well. Hopefully that's a little better. But the Lauda off to Palma, next aircraft now. You imagine reasonably well here in the wind this evening. Don't seem to be really affected by the crosswind. Keeping very much a straight path as they make their way out. Heading of 27. Allowed it at 2,500 feet now. There you go, we'll leave that one there as I reach the limit. I haven't reached that. At the 757 then in the distance. Let's have a look at that one for the time being. Fighting with the camera. Let's pull up the 777 as well if we can. Both DHL aircraft on screen for you now. The 757 here from Budapest, and the 777 should be making its way out to Leipzig, hopefully in the next 40 minutes. And the Groovy Gang, good evening to you. So the Vulcan is making its way back down towards us now. And the Ryanair service in from Rome is over the southeast coast now, 30,000 feet. That one should be with us in about 25 minutes. That one just about to pass by, or pass underneath the departing service to Venice that we saw out just a short while ago. Registration on the inbound service from Rome this evening then. Echo India Delta Whiskey X-Ray. This one's 737-800, delivered in January 2008, making that one 17 years of age. So look at those arrivals then. Service in from Kennedy, making his way just a little further up the coast of Ireland. We'll see where that one makes land. Probably about 20 minutes, making its way to Galway, or in the heading of Galway anyway. Logic 777, just north of Dortmund at the minute. That one we will be passing over into the Netherlands in about 10 minutes time, and making its way over towards East Midlands. So look, in the distance, the jet just arriving in. We'll take the 777 off screen. This one not currently showing on radar. We shall keep track of it just for a couple of minutes. Making its way straight down across the taxiway, right over to the stands, the apron should I say, behind the hangars in front of us this evening. That one will disappear off. Now that one a Gulfstream G550. Log into landing aviation. Let's have a quick look on the 777 then. Before we do, let's look at the 747. It's been quite a while since we have seen this particular airframe right in front of us. As you remember, just a few months back, this one was stuck with us for a couple of weeks, waiting to get the #1 engine replaced. That one's now back in service and on the remote stand in front of us again this evening. It's been a long time since we've seen any of the One Air aircraft on the stream. There we go, GUNet right in front of us this evening. So look at the 777 then. We'll see more of the 747 just a short while. As we pan back around. With the 777 still in the progress of being loaded up this evening. They're looking at making its way just between Nottingham and Derby now, that one at 1,700 feet. That one has been out for 2.5 hours now. Try and catch that one in as it lands in onto runway 27. So inevitably, with the cloud being pushed towards us, the heat is starting to fade away pretty quickly. But you can see there the wind on the bottom of the screen, currently at 5.2 knots. That intermittently updates. Looks like that is catching some of the intermittent gusts that we're experiencing this evening. Fingers crossed. Nothing makes its way away from us. It's doing a good job of pushing the cameras around. Definitely the strongest wind we've experienced up here anyway. Well, thank you very much for sticking with us this evening. If you're new to joining us, welcome to Live Flat Action, live from the grounds of East Midlands Airport. Looking just getting in contact with air traffic there. That one is clear to land in. The Ryanair service in from Rome, making its way up towards Boreham Wood now, then just passing by Boreham Wood, or should I say Boreham Wood. That one should be with us in about 20 minutes time. So look at those outbounds then. The Chewy service off to Heraklion is scheduled to depart about 20 to 7 this evening. Bring you that second camera there if we can in the distance. Looks like the bags are being loaded onto that aircraft now. Bit of luck, that one shouldn't face too much of a delay this evening. So it is due at 20 to 7, 6:40 PM this evening, just before the 777. Fingers crossed, it makes its way out to Leipzig. Doesn't look like they've got much loading left to do on the aircraft. Can never tell from this perspective. So it may well or may will not be on schedule. It's right in front of us this evening, so we've got a perfect view to keep track of that one. Now with the service outbound to Berlin this evening, that one is actually being operated. Let's have a look. Yeah, that one being operated by the inbound aircraft from Rome. That one with an estimated departure time of 20 past 6 this evening. But the aircraft is still about 20 minutes away from us, so probably another hour or so before we see that service ready to start up and push back out to Berlin this evening. Let's keep an eye on the map if we can then. Ryanair service in from Limoges. That one has just departed about 3 minutes ago. That one with an hour and 20 minutes to run this evening. That one currently passing through 10,000 feet. Vulcan Air cleared to land. That one should be with us in a couple of minutes. It'll take a couple of minutes for that one to make its turn and make its way down towards us. Hopefully we should see that one vacate quite close up. on the Chewy, the DHL service out to Leipzig this evening. Thank you very much for joining us nevertheless. So hopefully be streaming for the next couple of hours, depending on how the weather turns this evening. It's starting to look a little bit grey in the distance. Hopefully the wind is going to do a better job of moving all that away from us than it did on Tuesday evening. We're looking at landing in then, which that one gets a little bit closer. One vacates in 27, just a little further down this evening. On our service in from Rome, just passing over Milton Keynes now, and I'm looking at just coming into sight. It's just passing through the dip there. Pan around and see if we can make that one out as it approaches on the taxiway. There we go, just about to see the top of the wing there. The engines as well as it passes by the 737. And the Chewy requesting to push back now. So that one should hopefully be on time this evening. Watch the Vulcan out go past us, and then we'll have a quick close-up look of the Chewy, hopefully just before it starts to push back. There we go, we're coming into frame. It's really fighting against the wind at the minute. The sound's not too bad this evening. Done our best to try and dumb it down as much as we can to get rid of that wind noise. Looking at making its way down the taxiway. Back on with the Chewy in the distance then. That one should be starting to make preparations for pushing back. Magpie in the foreground, not bothered one bit about the wind. The majority of the birds taking shelter around the edge of the perimeter fence here. One is braving it this evening. So it looks like the Chewy is going to make its way out in just a few minutes. Let's get back on the 777. Sheet back on the screen there. Run our service in from Rome, just over Northampton now. Shredder and Ben, good evening to you. Thank you very much for joining us on the stream. Temperature definitely is dropping off now. Right, well the Chewy is just waiting to start its pushback. I'm going to go and get my coat very quickly, so just a few seconds. Right, hopefully acts as a bit of a windbreak. 777 requesting clearance to commence its pushback. That one off to Leipzig this evening, so presumably 777 in front of us. Still a few minutes off being ready to start being prepared to be pushed back. We're talking to air traffic, getting everything ready to prepare for the departure this evening. They're definitely eager to get it going anyway. Should be quite a good one to watch out. Sorry. See how well that one handles the challenge of the wind this evening. So it doesn't look like it's fully loaded. There's a bit of space in the rear of that aircraft, so I'm not too sure how fully laden that one is. The Chewy pushing off stand now then. So I'll readjust that one for you. We'll bring that one back on screen. Just disappeared off behind the stair there. Service in from Rome, then just south of Leicester now. That one passing through 7,300 feet. That one about 7 minutes away from us. So this one is due back out this evening. That one was scheduled on the Berlin service. Yeah, that one not changing its estimated departure time yet. Should be just a quick stop on the ground. 152 in a distance and making its way back in. That one been out for about an hour now, just east of Shepshed. Quickly making its way in just before the ride out. Is definitely picking up now. So let me know whether the updates just a short while, get an indication of how strong that wind is here this evening. Collision light pinging away on the Chewy there. That one should start making its way out. Just a couple of minutes, nothing from air traffic just yet. Not much more cargo to be loaded on the 777. So we were talking to Tower just a few moments ago. Now, looks like they're still working on both sides of that aircraft at the minute, both the upper and lower cargo decks there. Service in from a room then. Just about to turn on to final now. Now I'm passing through 3,900 feet now. So the Chewy just making those final flight control checks there. Hopefully in the next few seconds that one will be underway under its own power. It's definitely got a pro second coat this evening and a hat as well. But it's nice and warm. That wind is taking all of that heat away this evening. (152) just sneaking in front of the Ryanair then. That service passing through 3,000 feet now. And there we go, the Chewy off on its way to the start of runway 27. Catch up with that one in just a few minutes time. For the time being, the last of that cargo being loaded onto the 777 outbound to Leipzig this evening. That one with an estimated departure time of 10 past 7. A little bit fierce. Should be quite an interesting takeoff for the Chewy. Look in this direction, just the time being though, as the camera will get whipped around in the wind. very strong gust with us this evening. So thank you very much for staying with us. So not doing too bad, everything is staying in place. For now anyway. That should be alright. The Chewy making its way down to start off to 7 and the rider in on the approach. That one just over West Leak at the minute at 1,200 feet. Chewy being given clearance to line up and wait behind the arriving service in from Rome this evening. That one over Kegworth now at 900 feet. And around in the direction of 27 once that one gets a little closer towards us. Donington Park is in full flow this evening. Motorbikes in the distance. Let's have a quick pan around then. Let's leave the 777 for the time being. That one with another 20 minutes or so yet before it's ready to depart out. Wait the arrival of that service in from Rome. In that. Registration on this one then. Echo India Delta Whiskey X-Ray 737-800 with the retrofitted winglets on there. Chewy cleared for takeoff, so we'll leave the Ryanair just as it turns onto the taxiway. Keep with it just for a couple of seconds. As the Chewy starts its takeoff roll down, it's going in the direction of the runway then. Challenged by the wind there. We'll try and keep this in frame as much as we can. There we go, the Chewy R2 Heracles on this evening. One almost on time. Not doing too bad to keep on schedule this evening. Have a look back at our inbound service from Rome in just a few minutes. Challenging indeed, facing right in the direction of the wind. issue then. I've got through a bit of an issue keeping track of that one for the time being. So look in the distance now, the right there then, as that pulls on to stand. Hopefully we'll fare a little bit better with that one this evening. Just tucking itself away behind the stairs there. Chewy disappeared straight off into the cloud as we panned away. So average delay this evening just over an hour then on the departures from East Midlands. So look on the map at where those next inbounds are. They're right in from Rome there. In front of us, the RVL making its way in from the Isle of Man at 8,100 feet now. One should be with us in about 15 minutes time. The service in from Kennedy making its way north of Dublin, taking a bit of an extended route. That one passing over Ireland into Northern Ireland there, just north of Dundalk, right on the border. That one is making its way down, skirting across the south of the Isle of Man now. Making its way down, so it's going to head over Liverpool, in between Chester and Liverpool, and then make its way down towards East Midlands. The VPS service in from Philadelphia, still an hour and a half away from us. To the southeast, the Aerologic 777 in from Leipzig. Now that one is currently making its way down from 35,000 feet, currently at 34,600 feet. Just approaching the coast north of Southend-on-Sea now. That one should be with us in about 25 minutes time. Registration on the inbound from Leipzig, Delta Alpha Alpha Lima Foxtrot. Flight time this evening should be about an hour and 30 minutes. The inbound aircraft, 14 years of age, going to 15 years of age at most. Something else this evening. Some very challenging flight conditions indeed. That service in from Kennedy then should be with us in about 20 to 25 minutes depending on weather conditions. Service in from Limoges, which is the last little bit of France to run this evening. That one should be with us in about 50 minutes, heading for the coast now. That one is going to leave France just east of Cherbourg before making its way over towards the east of the Isle of Wight over in Portsmouth, and then should be straight up past Heathrow in towards East Midlands. And good evening to everybody joining us in the chat as well. Good to have you with us. Craig, Gavin and Phil, good evening to you. Mark, good evening to you. Thank you very much for joining us again. And Phil, good evening to you as well. Gavin, no, the Prime Air is still on stand. Let's have a quick pan around. There we go, that one in the distance for you this evening. So, very much on stand at the minute. The forward stair is to the front of the aircraft, but no activity around that one just yet. So we'll try and get a tiny bit better focus if we can. There we go. I know that one there still firmly on the ground at the minute. So let's have a look. Try and get a bit of a close-up view on that one on the secondary camera if we can for you. Focus on the 777 for the time being. That one is making preparations to depart out now. If the wind allows us to get a stable image, here's a little bit of a closer look. Prime Air 737. I think this one is operated by ASL. So there may be an ASL logo on the front, just underneath the, just behind the flight deck window there, between that and the forward door. No activity at all on the airframe. If there is this evening, we shall bring it to you. It doesn't look like anything for the time being. The 777 out to Leipzig, right in front of us this evening. That forward stair still in place. The crew just making those final checks. This one is due out in about 15 minutes. It was due out around about now. But that one's slightly delayed this evening. Hopefully that one should come alive in the next few minutes. Looks like the APU is running. All the ancillary equipment being cleared from around the aircraft. So with a bit of luck, that one is just about to start coming alive. So look, down the rest of the apron this evening now. What other aircraft we've got in front of us? The 767. Not sure if the 767 is off to Leipzig at some point, maybe a little later on. Off to Cincinnati. A particular one. So look on the end there. Kilo is still in. So on the hunt for the aircraft bound to Cincinnati this evening. And this one in the distance. Just focus on it. That is Liam and Mike there. Is due out a little later on after we finish streaming this evening, but the 777 in front of us should hopefully be making its way out to Leipzig. That one with an estimated departure time of 7:10 this evening, and that Ryanair service to Berlin is going to be departing any time soon. The aircraft only arriving in just a short while ago. The front of that 777 all closed up now. So we should start to see all those systems come alive. Try and protect a couple of bits of equipment from the wind. So hopefully a little bit better. Bit of an obscured view, but they're on a should be out to Berlin in just a little while. Nothing scheduled yet. That one's still an estimated departure time of 20 past 6. Of course, it's now 7 PM, so that has elapsed. The RVL on final into runway 27 at 2,100 feet. That one just being given clearance to land. Triple seven making its way in from Leipzig, passing through 22,700 feet now. That one says on the radar 25 minutes away from us, but realistically in the next 15 minutes or so that one should be making its turn to the approach. Just a real shame about the wind this evening, bouncing the cameras around a little bit. Try and mitigate it as best we can. It's going to be bouncy throughout the rest of the stream, unfortunately. We'll take that over again, soaking wet on Tuesday. It's definitely a good chance to call the stream off. I'll reschedule it for this evening. Just joining us, thank you very much for joining us here at Live Flight Action, live from East Midlands Aeropark this evening. Regular streamers from the Aeropark every Tuesday and Thursday. Missed any of our previous streams, have a look back through the channel. There's a lot of action we've seen here over the past few weeks and months at East Midlands since we've started streaming from here. A different variety of aircraft, especially 747s tend to be popular aircraft for East Midlands. One departed out to Riyadh just a little while ago, probably about an hour ago now. That one was the Atlanta Icelandic 747 arriving into East Midlands a little earlier on this afternoon and departing straight out right in front and overhead of us. That one departing about an hour and 5 minutes ago. So we're just after, a little after 6 PM on the stream. So if you did miss that one, have a look back. We'll put a timestamp in after we finish the stream if anybody did miss that and wants to watch it again a little later on. But the Aeropark 777 making its way up just west of Bedford now. Service in from Kennedy, about 15 minutes away now. That one just passing north of Congleton. That one making its way down through 15,000 feet now. Registration on the inbound service from Kennedy this evening then. Golf Delta Hotel Lima Oscar 767-300. This one with a flight time about 6 hours and 17 minutes at present. This one was due to arrive with us just before 6 PM. about 10 to 6, arriving at about 20 past 7 this evening. So just a little more for that one to run, but as I say, that one should be with us in about 15 minutes time. Really making its way down over the Peak District. That one should be routing over the north of Derby, in between Derby and Nottingham, and then making its way down towards the approach for runway 27. And a service in from Leipzig, still at 15,000 feet. Over Northampton now, that one should be making its way straight up towards the south of Leicester, making its way towards the east of Loughborough, and then making that left turn onto the final approach for runway 27. So nothing on the 777 just yet. That is quickly approaching its new departure time. Looks like they may just have received pushback clearance. Yeah, the system's coming live now, that vertical stabiliser. Very much alive. The anti-collision beacon lights pinging away there. So that one is making its way out now. Let's hit the right now off screen. Watch this one push back. Ryanair service in from Limoges, then making its way towards the east coast of the Isle of Wight. That's going to make land just over Portsmouth, and I'll make its way up towards East Midlands. Kennedy service at 10,500 feet now. And the Aeropark making its way down through 13,000 feet. The RVL just vacating the taxiway. Vacating onto the taxiway. Vacating the runway onto the taxiway, should I say. That one landing in from the Isle of Man this evening. Pick this one up as it makes its way past the 1S747 onto its usual stand. Just disappearing in the dip on the taxiway there. There we go, that 777 pushing back. If we can, let's just get the Cessna next to one. Nice comparison on that one there. Must have been quite an interesting flight over from now, the man in these wind conditions. Very bumpy one, I imagine. Pick back up with the RVL just a few minutes for the time being. 777 making its way off stand. So we'll see which one of the arriving aircraft make their way in first. Maybe the Kennedy service, that one at 8,000 feet at the minute, and the service in from Leipzig, just passing through 11,300 feet. Try and get a little closer if we can before those services north and south make their way down on the approach. on the 777, starting up then in the distance. That one should be making its way under its own power in just a few short minutes. Service in from Kennedy this evening and making its way down towards Nottingham now. That one at 6,000 feet. Logic just a couple of minutes behind in terms of estimated arrival, and that one passing just south of Leicester now at 8,000 feet. See in just a few minutes which one of those aircraft makes it onto the approach first. More than likely will be the service in from Kennedy. The Aerologic will take a little bit of an extended approach before making its way down towards runway 27. So a quick check, make sure everything is still firmly tied down this evening. Nothing's flown away from us. That's a good sign. The 777 should be making its way. Just waiting for the request to start taxiing out. Its way out under its own power now. The Aerologic is indeed just turning north of Leicester now. It's not that one is going to give way to that service in from JFK this evening. That service just south of Nottingham now. Probably about 5 minutes away from us. It's tricky to keep steady this evening. So this one will make its way all the way down on the taxiway to the start of runway 27. More familiar with the just making a quick hop across the start of 09. Take just a few minutes before this one reaches the threshold. It should be giving way to the Aerologic 777. .767 in from JFK, turning on to the final approach now. A little bit tricky to keep up with this one with the wind. Alter my position there, hopefully fare a little bit better. Service E from JFK, then passing through 2,200 feet now. further flight time this evening of about 6 hours and 17 minutes. About 5 miles away from us now then. Registration on the inbound service from Kennedy Golf Delta Hotel Lima Oscar. We'll leave that 777 there for the time being. So look on the progress of the Ryanair then right in front of us. A little bit closer in, a little bit further across. There we go. Looks like that service is in the process of boarding now then. The Aeropark 777 on final approach as well, that one just making the turn there. And the 767 here from JFK, just approaching Kegworth. That one east of Kegworth now at 1,300 feet. Keep on the Ryanair just for a minute or so. It looks like they're almost ready to commence or start commencing their startup procedures there. So we'll get an indication of that one's departure time in just a few minutes hopefully. But let's face in the direction of runway 27 now then, as we await the arrival of that service in from JFK this evening. There you go, the 777 making its way down there as well. And the Ryanair service in from Limoges. That one just passing west of Heathrow now. That one should be with us in about 25 minutes time. DHL 757 in from Reykjavik this evening. Looks like we'll likely have 3 757s on the DHL ramp with us. That one with about an hour left to run now. Well, that service in from JFK should be in front of us in just a few seconds. There we go, that winglet just coming into view. Service in from Leipzig. Established on the approach now. Service back out to Leipzig. Just holding short of runway 27. Stick with this one just for the time being until that 777 gets a little bit further down on the approach. That one just being given a landing clearance. Overhead Kegworth now. Passing through 900 feet. Seven 767 in from JFK in front of us then this evening. catch up with that one as it makes its way onto stand. DHL are becoming very, very densely populated at the minute. Let's pan back around in this direction though of runway 27. There's that Aerologic 777 lands in. That one just passing the runway threshold. Second Aerologic 777 we've seen in this evening. So last Thursday's stream was a little bit of a wait for the inbound 777, the Aerologic 777 to find a stand. His counterpart was a little delayed, so they were waiting for a good 25 minutes or so before they could make use of the stand. There we go. 777 in from Leipzig this evening. Looks like this one is going to make very much use of the whole runway this evening. Indeed this evening. Hopefully the clarity is coming across just as well as it is here right in front of us. .767 in from Kennedy pulling on to stand there, and the 777 following suit. Running service to Berlin just starting up, and that 777 off to Leipzig in the DHL livery at the start of runway 27 out, just awaiting takeoff clearance. It's going to be a very, very busy ramp over there in just a short while. See whereabouts the Aerologic makes it onto stand this evening. And the 777 off to Leipzig is making its way towards us, so let's pan around. Wait to catch that one. Right out of East Midlands this evening. Blast from those engines. Really making it difficult now with the wind gusts. Well, it is definitely powerful. There we go. We'll try and stick with this one as long as we can. Air traffic passing them off to London Control now. Disappearing off into the cloud then this evening. The Aerologic 777 making use of the stand where that service has just pushed back from. Stick with this one for just a couple of minutes. Ryanair service to Berlin, pushing back off stand now. Just bringing that one in bottom of the screen if we can. Go. 777 pulling in onto stand next to service bound from JFK this evening. A lot of room available on the forward of the apron at the minute. The rear remote stands almost clear, 767 in front of the 747. Of course, the RVL Cessna in its usual on its usual stand. They're on a off to Berlin this evening, just moving out of frame now. So let's try and get set up a little better on the aerologic. Now that rider has moved out of the way. Catch up with that one in just a couple of minutes. Making its way on the taxiway now. It's like a small aircraft just on the runway. Rockwell 112B Commander. Registration on that one, Golf Bravo S Echo Papa Yankee. Should be quite an interesting departure. Let's change direction now, flying straight in the direction of runway 27. Let's see if we can catch this one out of East Midlands this evening then. A little bit bumpy. Still managing to keep the runway heading there. Very well executed. Let's keep in the direction of runway 27 then, just for the time being. That Ryanair service to Berlin making its way down on the taxiway. For that one to make its way down. Just bringing that shuttle 7 at the bottom of the screen there. Try and get closer with that one as it starts to load up. The service in from JFK forward cargo door has just opened on that one. So get a bit of a closer look in just a minute. Ryanair service to Berlin at the end of runway 27 now. And the inbound service from Limoges, just southeast of Leicester at the minute. And that one at 8,200 feet, quickly making its way down towards us. Not too sure if you'll be able to see that one in the distance. Do pick it up in the distance, I'll of course try and get on the stream for you. The cloud is very quickly making its way across us though, so it may not be possible. But in any case, they're on a giving clearance to enter runway 27 now. See how far this one rolls down before rotating this evening. You can see it's relatively clear in the distance. extremely good visibility. Just a shame that there's a lot of cloud in the area. Looks like a clear patch of sky quickly approaching us. When doing a fantastic job of blowing the cloud away quite quickly this evening. So you may just be able to see some of those overhead arrivals in towards Manchester as well. So look then, in the distance, the Ryanair should be making its way down now. Straight up the ceiling, no messing around from the crew. I presume they're very eager to get back on the schedule this evening after that delay on the inbound service from Rome. The Aeropark in the distance then, that one in a process of being unloaded now, and the sun just sneaking through. So look to the right then, at the service in from Kennedy as well. One already in the process of being offloaded. And just to the left, oh, we've got the sunlight with us. Let's catch it on the 747. Let's turn the aperture just down ever so slightly. There we go. I'm just basking in the sunlight this afternoon. Sorry, this evening, sorry. What time it is? Just after 7:30. See the cloud in the distance there, quickly rolling in towards us from the west. Very nice sight for the sun to be peeking through. Hopefully warm things up just a little bit as well. Let's get back over to the 777 then, for the time being. Of course, the 767 next to it, both of those aircraft in the process of being offloaded this evening. Let's get a little bit more light in on the camera. There we go. And the passenger apron pretty much void of any traffic at the minute. So that one air, sorry, not one air, prime air. 737 is still on stand in the distance. Very shiny with the sun just breaking through as well. Ryanair service in from Limoges, making that left turn down on the approach of runway 27 now then. That one established on the approach now then, passing through 2,500 feet. Registration on the inbound is 9 Hotel Quebec Bravo Kilo 737-800. This one first entered into service in October 2015, so 10 years of age this year. So look a little further north then, the West Atlantic in from Aberdeen has departed. That one making its way out about 5 minutes ago. That one should be with us in about 50 minutes. And the DHL 757 in from Reykjavik. That one running just a little ahead of the West Atlantic. That one scheduled to be in about 45 minutes. We'll see which one of those aircraft makes it in first. But the UPS service in from Philadelphia. That one delayed by about 20 minutes this evening, making a very similar approach towards East Midlands as the service in from JFK. Looks like that one is going to route up the majority of Central Ireland there. Making its way over Northern Ireland and down over the south of the Isle of Man, across North Wales and in towards East Midlands. The Ryanair in from Limoges, just passing over Kegworth. So let's have a quick look at the 777 there if we can. Both sides of the aircraft being worked on now, the upper and lower decks. Pan across, just zoom out, give you a bit of a perspective of the aircraft on stand over there. It's most populated we've seen a DHL ramp for quite some time. Just turn that aperture down ever so slightly. There we go. Full of 75, 76 and 777 airframes. The two 757s there right in the centre. They should be joined by their counterpart in from Reykjavik in about 45 minutes time. Comes the 747 there. Let's pan around in the direction of 27 and await the arrival of that service in from Limoges this evening. Then flight time is 1 hour and 12 minutes. That one just passing over the runway threshold now. A little bit of that light off there. There we go. Just a bit of the glare. There we go, then the service in from Limoges this evening. Trying to stick with this one for a minute if we can, if the wind allows. Definitely a good decision to put the coat on this evening. Pretty cold, if not. Have a look at the next departures. Just a minute after the Ryanair makes its way onto the apron. So this one is off to Barcelona this evening. one's due out at 7:45 this evening, but with that one only just landing in, it will be delayed as well. Well, that aircraft is due outbound to Barcelona. Probably about another 40 minutes until we see that one ready to depart again. Maybe departing a very similar time to the Maersk 767 back off to Cologne. That one is due out at about 8:15, well, the scheduled time of 8:15. Whether we see that one or not is another question, but it is scheduled to depart this evening. Ryanair coming to a stop on Standen. Ground crew just at the front of that aircraft there, ready to make their way towards it. We're having a look at the radar. Let's have a look at those next inbounds then. So still a little way to run on those next arrivals. The West Atlantic 737 making its way down from Aberdeen should be with us in about 35 minutes. And that's 757 in from Reykjavik. About 40 minutes on that one. So it looks like we may see the West Atlantic 737 in first. The UPS 767 in from Philadelphia, making its way just towards the south of Shannon at the minute. Well, at least it's got a little brighter now. So we'll leave the Ryanair 737 just for the time being. So we're back on the progress and the offloading of the 777 and 767 in the distance there. Try and get a little bit more lighting for you. There we go. Make it a bit brighter. Thank you to everybody joining us as well from East Midlands this evening. It's good to have you with us on this Thursday stream. Unfortunately, it's a little bit windy. Hopefully the images on screen this evening do it a bit of justice. Andy and Leah, thank you very much for joining us. Good to have you with us in the chat. Just to the north of us now, the sky is pretty much clear. A lot of cloud rolling in from the west. For the time being, very clear skies above us. See, just above the roof on the DHL building there, all that cloud rolling in from the south. Let's see if we've got any interesting aircraft overhead. So The Vulcan is starting up again. See that one out. Maybe see that one out in a few minutes. That one maybe going back out on operation. Let's have a look. I think for the time being, the airspace is pretty clear above. KLM City Hopper making its way into Manchester. That one just obscured by the cloud from the west there. Otherwise we could have had a close-up look at that one. Just a fleet of EasyJets. A320s making their way up towards us. A320s and A319. This aircraft making their way out of Luton this evening. For the time being, all quiet. And a perfect opportunity for the typhoon to fly across this evening. I haven't heard any for a couple of weeks now. So look down the rest of the April and progress of that 767 in from JFK, just on the next stand. One in the process of being offloaded as well this evening. A little bit dirty. The rear of the aircraft. This aircraft typically don't spend too long on the ground. So they're a night stopper, usually in and out in very tight turnaround time. Let's see if we can get this one on, making its way up to Aberdeen this evening. The EasyJet making its way out of Gatwick. It's just a look above us. There we go. If we turn that down just a little bit. There we go. The service from Gatwick to Scotland this evening. Just passing east of the airfield. Disappearing behind the cloud there. A lot of the traffic inbound to Manchester just obscured at the minute. A lot of cloud in the west making its way towards us. There you go. A little bit of a overhead shot there this evening as that one makes its way up to Aberdeen. Still extremely windy at the minute. Right, so look at those next inbounds and see whereabouts they are in terms of arriving with us this evening. Just bear with me. The West Atlantic 737 then making its way down towards Newcastle. We're up on time at the minute. That one should be with us in about 25 minutes. DHL service in from Reykjavik in about 30 minutes. The UPS service in from Philadelphia just over the centre of Ireland there. That one is going to make its way up towards Dublin and then likely across the maybe the north or south of Anglesey over North Wales and then in down towards East Midlands. Those aircraft may be the final ones on this evening's stream. So look at the departures. See if that Ryanair service has been given a new slot yet. That one still with an estimated departure time of 7:45. That has of course now elapsed. Is on standing distance there. Just loading that one back up for its inbound flight to Barcelona this evening. But apart from the Ryanair, all quiet on the passenger front at the minute. So if you did miss that 747 departing out to Riyadh a little earlier on, that one departed about 6 PM this evening. So have a look back through the stream. If not, we'll put a timestamp up after the stream is finished this evening. That one was definitely worth having a look back at. Departing right out above us. Did indeed miss the arrival of the Antonov 124 on last Thursday's stream when we were still on 09 operations. I'm quite fortunate with the weather in recent weeks to run the majority of our streams on 09 arrivals and departures. That one arrived with us from the south before making a bank over Burton-on-Trent. We followed that one down all the way on the approach before landing right in front of us. So if you did miss that one, have a look back through last Thursday's stream. That one is definitely not one to miss. Well, it definitely is dropping a little bit colder now. So thank you for sticking with us this evening. So unfortunately on Tuesday's stream the weather wasn't as nice. Got here, got everything ready to start streaming. Everything is tied down as much as we can. The risk was too great with the rain. Started driving in right underneath the shelter, so it wasn't worth the risk to damage the equipment. So rescheduled for the usual slot on Thursday evening instead, and the weather has turned out to be a lot fairer. Still a little bit of grey cloud above us. Hopefully nothing to produce any rain. Hoping anyway, it's like a bit ominous above us. Apart from that, it's been a very windy and blustery evening. So thank you very much for sticking with us again this evening. And of course, if you're new to the channel, do please consider subscribing. We're out here every Tuesday and Thursday, streaming from East Midlands. Of course, within the grounds of East Midlands Aeropark. Volunteers kindly giving up their time to allow us inside the museum to conduct our streams. So if you want any details on how to find the Aeropark, their opening times and admission prices as well, check out the link in our stream description below. That'll take you to their website and it'll give you all the detail that you should need. Of course, if you do have any further questions, the volunteers will only be too happy to answer them for you. Of course, any volunteering opportunities as well. If you're interested in volunteering with the Aeropark, definitely drop down and have a chat with them. Lots of opportunities available, some very interesting projects taking place as well. So if you're interested in that, come down, have a chat with them, and they'll be only too happy to talk you through the onboarding process. But for the time being, 767 is being unloaded in front of us this evening, and that Ryanair service in the distance there, just to the bottom left of the screen, should hopefully be making its way out to Barcelona anytime soon. Doesn't look like anyone is boarding just yet. So they're still working on restocking that one. So we'll keep an eye on the weather into next week as well, and looking a little bit temperamental at the minute. Very much rain and cloud for the early part of next week, and wind as well, very much like the conditions throughout today and this evening. Quite a lot of rain forecast for next week. Looks like it's predominantly the early part of the afternoon or later evening after we hopefully finish streaming. So it looks like it's going to run through into the weekend as well. Bit of contrast to the weather this weekend, looking like it's going to get a little bit warmer after this evening, or throughout this evening, into tomorrow and then Saturday as well. Temperatures around East Midlands up to about 22 degrees. And back down into below 20 degrees next week. Average of about 17 degrees throughout next week. Overcast and rainy. A little bit of a difference of what we're going to experience this weekend. We'll keep an eye out and schedule the streams accordingly, of course. So when the weather's like this and it's windy, it's not too bad, as everything stays tied down properly. So look, on those next arrivals then, the West Atlantic in from Aberdeen, about 20 minutes away from us now. That one is making its way down just north of Massam at the minute, in North Yorkshire. That one routing down towards Leeds Bradford, and then down towards Sheffield and in towards East Midlands. The service in from Reykjavik is currently just east of Barrow-in-Furness at the minute, passing over Lancaster and then making its way down over Manchester towards East Midlands. That one is about 25 minutes out now. And the UPS service in from Philadelphia is about 30 minutes away from us. That one is indeed making its way down towards the south of Anglesey at the minute. That one's going to make its way over North Wales and then in just south of Wrexham, it looks like, past Stoke-on-Trent, Utah-Exeter, and then in towards East Midlands. And the Maersk service in from Belfast, that one is due to arrive with us in about 35 minutes. That one departed Belfast about 6 minutes ago. That one going to take a very similar route to its counterpart in from Philadelphia, although that looks like it's going to make land just on the coast of Liverpool there, and before making its way down over Crewe, north of Stoke-on-Trent, and then in towards East Midlands. just a good job it's not pitch black now. So usually experience this weather in the early part of the year, and it was very much a different story in terms of weather. Very dark skies, very freezing temperatures. Waiting for the last arrivals of this this evening's stream. Just glad it's a little bit sunny around. But not so long at all before we see the first of the last arrivals into East Midlands this evening. The West Atlantic should be first, followed by that service in from Reykjavik, Philadelphia and Belfast. That one should be the last inbound aircraft on this evening's stream. Let's have a look at the departures, see if the Ryanair has got a different slot yet. Doesn't look like it. That one's still with the estimated departure time of 7:45. There's the aircraft in the bottom left of the screen there. Extremely windy indeed. So we'll have a look at the schedules for next week as well and put the streams up accordingly. Hopefully it's a little less windy. But thank you nevertheless for joining us this evening. It's just a shame we couldn't make it out. I couldn't stream on Tuesday evening. Definitely made it out and tried to start streaming, but the weather was having different ideas. Thank you for joining us on our regular Thursday stream. Hope you've enjoyed the view in front of us so far this evening. Any movement on the Ryanair for the time being then. So hopefully we'll see that one out before the end of this evening's stream. Probably streaming just until the Maersk arrives with us. So probably just after 8:30 this evening. So the West Atlantic is only about 15 minutes away from us now. And the DHL 757 at 20 minutes away. So with a bit of luck they will start boarding anytime soon. That one will be on its way. So I think they're just waiting for a new slot for the time being. Let's see if we can get the front section of the aircraft in frame. Before the wind defeats us. There we go. Hopefully get all that one in frame now. So there isn't much movement at all underneath the aircraft elements. With no departure time changed. Too sure when that one will actually be departing this evening. Well, let's have a look then. Take our eyes off the 767. Look on the progress of the 777 on the stand next to it. So you can just about see inside the aircraft there. See the lights inside that hold. Currently they're the only two aircraft being worked on. Hopefully we will see that 757 in from Reykjavik. Not sure which stand that will make its way onto this evening. There are already two 757s over there. Pan around just a little. There we go. Those taking pride of place right in between the Aerologic 777 there and the 767 on the stand next to it. So you usually see a couple of 757 airframes in at a time at East Midlands. Don't think we've seen three in before. Hopefully in the next 20 minutes or so that will change. That West Atlantic service just passing west of Sheffield now then. A little bit west of Sheffield, making its way down over the Peak District, heading towards Castleton at the minute. So that one is going to route straight over Chatsworth House, and down towards Matlock, in towards the north of Derby, and over towards the south of Nottingham before making that right turn onto the final approach for runway 27 this evening. So I'll get some details on the inbound 737 then. Registration on that one, Golf Juliet Mike Charlie Sierra. This one is 34 years of age. First flight January 1991. 757 registration on that, Golf Bravo Mike Romeo Juliet. This one a little older by a couple of years. First flight in February 1989. This one 36 years of age. This one having quite a varied life. First entered into service with British Airways then, before making its way over to Caledonian Airways, back into British Airways colours, before being converted into a freighter and entering into service with DHL. See if we can find any detail on the West Atlantic. Again, a very life for this one. That one first entered service with Malaysia Airlines in January 1991. They're making its way to Czech Airlines, Aerosfit in 2006, Babcock and Brown in 2009. I think that one was under an Isle of Man registration. Then back to Aerosfit in 2010. And to a leasing company in 2013 before making its way over to West Atlantic in 2014. Looks like it went back to its leasing company and then Jet Time, February 2014. So a few operators 4 operators within about a year there, and finally entering back into operation with West Atlantic in 2017. That's that one being converted in 2013 into a freighter, and performing cargo duties ever since. That one just north of Derby now then, making its way down towards East Midlands. That one should be with us in about 5 minutes time. The 757 about 5 minutes behind that. So that one just northeast of Stoke-on-Trent at the minute, passing through 15,900 feet. The West Atlantic currently at 7,500 feet. The UPS 767 in from Philadelphia then, making its way towards Crewe now. That one is at 18,200 feet at the minute. Registration on that one, November 313 uniform Papa. That one 28 years of age. And just about to make its way over the coast of North Wales there, between Rhyl and Prestatyn. The Maersk Air Service in from Belfast. That one at 27,000 feet at the minute. Registration Golf Mike Alpha Charlie Zulu. And that one again, 31 years of age. All 4 aircraft on a very similar trajectory in towards East Midlands now. The West Atlantic 737 though will be the first one in. Keep our eyes on the right air as well, see if that starts boarding soon. It doesn't look like anybody's made their way on just yet. So look at the departures. Now that one very much still departing at 7:45 this evening. So that not updated unfortunately. Keep an eye on it nevertheless. We will pan around though in just a few minutes time once the West Atlantic 737 makes its way down on final approach. That one is just southwest of Nottingham at the minute, just passing over the M1. Shall listen out for them on the frequency as well. Hopefully it can get a bit of warmth after these final 4 aircraft make their way in. It's not too bad. The sun is finally making a bit more of an appearance now. So a lot of that dark cloud is being rapidly pushed past us. So turn and look at the remote standards of the DHL apron then. The 1Air 747 still shining in the sunlight this evening. Let's have a look round the rest of the airfield. So the Ryanair still in the distance there. Perspective with the other camera is pointing in the direction of. Hopefully in the next few minutes we'll see that West Atlantic 737 make its way down on final approach and okay, just a little distance away from us. So the ops team just making their way down the runway there. If we can, all we've got the opportunity is to take a closer look at the 1Air 747. It's been some time since we've seen the 747 in front of us. Last time we captured unit was when it had its engine and bits. See if this one has got any scheduled flights. Nothing since the 26th of May in from Astana. That one has been on remote stand ever since. I think it was here on Tuesday as well. And the I think it was the Saudi MRTT, the multi-role transport tanker, was positioned just on the remote stand behind. But nothing final for this one. It's had quite a busy month between here, Madrid, and China. Nothing currently scheduled for the outbound of that one just yet. Let's see a few more of the one that's out on future streams as well. Not managed to catch one for quite some time. So a lot of the 747s, but not the one is. The West Atlantic on final approach then, and the ops team just vacating runway 27 there. Oops. I believe the the airframe inbound from JFK this evening is due to depart out. That one is off to Leipzig in about an hour's time, about an hour and 10 minutes time. I'll be departing a little after we finish this evening's stream, unfortunately, but that West Atlantic service in from Aberdeen is established on the approach now, making its way down in towards runway 27. That one is currently over East Leek, making its way towards Kegworth at 1,700 feet. And that's 757 in from Reykjavik, just south of Nottingham now. That one will be making that right hand turn onto the final approach in just a few minutes as well. DPS 767 just north of Derby now then at 8,000 feet. That one making its way in towards us as well. And a Maersk, which will likely be the final inbound of this evening's stream, is just making its way north of Stoke-on-Trent, passing through 15,500 feet. That one should be with us in about 15 minutes, so it will likely be ending the stream just after 8:30 this evening. So nothing on the Ryanair, unfortunately. Looks like the rear stairs have been moved out of place though. So look, see if that one does have a new slot. Still nothing yet. Nevertheless, we'll try and catch up with that one if we can. Let's get ourselves pointed in the direction of runway 27 then, as we await the arrival of that West Atlantic 737 inbound from Aberdeen this evening. We're looking a little bit more clear in the distance. To the west of us as well. is indeed requesting to push and start then. Just sneaked on board that one as we were having a bit of a pan around. That West Atlantic 737 should be approaching us. There we go, just coming into frame now. Flight time on that one this evening then 51 minutes. I'll try and keep up with it if the wind allows us. Get a little bit choppy now. There we go, try to stabilise that a little bit better. DHL clear to land as well. That one should be touching down in just a few minutes. Stick with the West Atlantic as best we can, given the conditions. Try and make that image as stable as possible. Hopefully catch the departure of the Ryanair to Barcelona this evening. That one has just pushed off its stand. So 57, just a couple of miles out now. We shall stick with the West Atlantic for the time being. Pretty good view right in the distance now, after all that cloud is finally dispersed. Should just catch this one turning onto stand, pan around and catch arrival of the 757 in from Reykjavik. The UKS in from Philadelphia, just turning on to final approach as well. The West Atlantic making its way onto stand. Just disappearing behind a bit of shade there. Let's pan around in the distance and catch the arrival of the 757 in from Reykjavik this evening. Very slowly making its way towards us. This one might have a little bit more speed on it. There we go. We should get quite a nice shot of that one now. DHL 757 in from Reykjavik this evening, then in front of us. Stick with this one for a couple of minutes. So EPS 767 gets a little bit closer. That one is over East Leek at the minute. See whereabouts this one ends up on standards even. The runner making its way down on the taxiway now then to the start of runway 27. And the EPS just overhead Kegworth now at 1,100 feet. Making use of the very last stander there then this evening. Perching right on the end. It's a very rare sight that every stand over on the DHL ramp, or forward of that ramp anyway, is full at this time of an evening. Completely occupied. 767 just over the runway threshold. There we go, 757 coming to a stop. Parking brakes applied there. Let's pan around if we can. Try and catch the UPS 767 in from Philadelphia this evening. So this one is going to make its way all the way down past us this evening, which is quite rare. It's usually vacates the runway on my pamphlets actually. There we go, the UPS 767 making its way right past us this evening. And the Ryanair just holding at the threshold of runway 27. So that one may be holding for the Maersk. That one is just over East Leek at the minute. take off down on the taxiway now to the start, almost the start of runway 27, back down towards UPS apron. Back in the direction that we need to be to catch the arrival of that Maersk. Bulkhead making its way out there this evening. That one back out on operation this evening. Let's get back around in the direction. 27 then. A little bit too far. There we go. UPS just making its way down in the distance there. And the Maersk just about to arrive onto runway 27 on just over the M1. And that Ryanair holding short of 27, giving way to the Maersk. The Maersk will be the last arrival on this evening's stream then. And the Ryanair will be the last departing aircraft out of East Midlands. We get everything packed up and get out of the wind. So even though it's a little bit warmer than it was earlier, the sun is just about to disappear behind the trees now. Inevitably brought the chill back with it. That Maersk 767 will be with us in just a couple of seconds, and that one touching down onto runway 27 this evening after a flight time of 39 minutes. The UPS with a flight time of 6 hours and 32 minutes this evening. There you go. See if this one makes its way past us. It's going to vacate there. Vacating just a little early. Ryanair entering 27 now. And the Ryanair being given takeoff clearance there. The Maersk in from Belfast in front of us will be the last arrival of this evening's stream. And as we're just about to see, the Ryanair making its way off to Barcelona. That one finally departing after about a 50-minute delay this evening. So let's get set up in the direction of runway 27 for the last time this evening then. Catch the Ryanair as it makes its way out of East Midlands. So it's the first time of you joining us this evening. Thank you very much, and do consider subscribing to the channel. We're out here every Tuesday and Thursday streaming from East Midlands. It's been great to have you with us. Thank you to everybody who joined us in the chat as well. Wind finally just calming down a little bit. Just picking up on the vortexes from those engines there. On departing out on the runway heading. Let's try and track this just for a few more seconds. There we go, that one making its turn down towards the south now. Right now departing out to Barcelona this evening. So thank you very much to everybody who joined us from East Midlands. So if it is your first time joining us, do consider subscribing to the channel. We're out here every Tuesday and Thursday. Of course, to all of our returning subscribers and members, thank you very much for joining us again this evening. It's been great to have you all with us. Of course, if you want any more details of the Aeropark, have a look at the website link in the description below. So from me, and with that Ryanair departing out towards the south now, let's have one last look over at the apron there in front of us. See every stand occupied this evening over there. 757 in from Reykjavik, just on the end there, currently in the process of being offloaded. So from me, that's it for now. We'll put details of the next stream up as soon as we can. We'll put a few timestamps in as well from this evening's stream. But I'm off to go and get in the warm. So thank you very much to everybody who's joined us, and everybody in the chat who have not managed to respond to this evening. Thank you very much for joining in with us as well. This has been Live Flight Action. I've been Tom. Thank you for sticking with us this evening. We'll see you on the next one.